Hello, this is John, host of the Prepared Mind channel and also a host of Mgtow is Freedom. Seemingly two different subject matters, but there is some crossover. AJ, I believe, did some fan funding and sent me an email and said, John, I want you to talk about post-collapse environment, PCE, and what needs to be done to make sure that the shit we're facing today socially, also politically, economically, doesn't happen again. I threw in the politically and economically. He was talking just about the social. But I'm going to give you the full deal, AJ. Thank you for the great question, the great suggestion. And also I want to say, for those of you who are doing fan funding, there should be an email address that pops up. Send me an email and also let me know you did the fan funding, okay? That way I know whether I'm dealing with a regular suggestion or someone who really wanted to sponsor one of the episodes on this channel. So, you know, the idea of shit hitting the fan, societal, economic, social collapse, is seems to have a strong hold in people who are also of the men going their own way movement, which is kind of it's not anti-woman, it's anti-feminism, it's anti-being a man. Essentially, or most essentially, that's what it is being your own man, going your own way, and denying the social engineering. One of the effects that social engineering has is the destruction of our culture, and it'll be the destruction of our civilization. So a lot of Mgtow are also preppers. So I want to set all this up so we can follow the line of thinking. For a long time now, there's been social engineering. That is the destruction of our culture, and it's being supplanted with something else. Feminism is a big part of it, but other cultural modifications and engineering and evolution is being forced upon us, and it's causing nothing but chaos. One way to characterize it is, rather than intelligent thinking, we are being given emotional options that feel good, or we should do because we think we're special and that we don't have to obey nature's laws. And so that's what's happening culturally, and it is going to cause shit hits the fan. So when we get to shit hitting the fan, it is just absolute chaos, mayhem that is going to happen, because there will be a lawless environment, and people will be hunted by those who are without. So people who have prepared with food, water, defense measures, they're going to be assaulted. They're going to be looked at as targets by those who want what they have. It happens all the time around the world. It's just in certain pockets of the world, like the United States, Europe, China, Japan, Russia, people are more civilized. We have a system of laws in place. And so we don't see that absolute chaos, that thievery, that level of willingness to kill another person to take their stuff. When it collapses in America, in Australia, in Canada, in the UK, in Europe, in Russia, in China, in Japan, we're going to see a level of barbarism. And we just call it shit hitting the fan, the apocalypse. The end of the world as you know it, and real law, and that is the law of the jungle, will take over again. Now, during that time, are you going to listen to someone arguing about feelings? If you're the man of the house, the boss man, the jefe, are you going to argue with people? No, you're not. It's either act inhesitantly or you will die. Are you going to listen to feelings-based thinking? Feelings-based decision? Or are you going to listen to logic, reason, and reality? See, feelings-based, feel-good crap is what has gotten us into the problem we're at now. When shit hits the fan, you will not have time for that. This is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Are you going to have time to listen to a woman who has spent the last 12 years listening to Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Phil, Or are you going to have to act like a man and make snap decisions based on your thinking that has proven results? Right? You're not going to be able to talk your way out of a situation with someone pointing a gun at you. You're not going to be able to appeal to some sort of mundane, ridiculous, college-induced fantasy and philosophy. You're going to have to shoot them with a gun to get them out of your face. So after we get done with Shit Hits the Fan, whether it takes a month or 3 months to get through all of the chaos and mayhem, and then we're going to go back to, well, what the fuck do we do now? Right? Say government doesn't come back online. There's no real civilization. Things are still fucked up. Right? There's no food trucks. There's no gas trucks. The lights haven't come on yet. What are you going to do? You got to plant gardens and start figuring out how to water the gardens, take care of the gardens. You're going to food, right? You got to take care of food. Animal husbandry, taking care of chickens and rabbits and raising meat, right? But is that all you're going to have to face in a post-collapse environment? Right? The long term. I've done a couple of videos on long-term planning. Planning ahead and seeing past the shit hits the fan. There's going to be men, there's going to be women, there's going to be children, there's going to be groups, there's going to be lone wolves out there trying to make their way through life. But the same fucking thinking that got us in the mess we're in today is going to try and live through shit hits the fan. It's going to try and live through the post-collapse environment, the PCE. And it's going to try and take over again. Now you have to decide now. Yes, now you have to decide now. You men, you who are in charge, have to decide now, in that post-collapse environment, are you going to allow this same bullshit to happen again? Are you going to allow those who think in emotional rituals to make the decisions for you? Are you going to let women bitch at you and tell you what to do? Are you going to let people shame you into making stupid decisions and handing your authority over to them? Can you afford that at that time? I'm going to say no. Now here's how I personally operate. If you're a man and you've got a good idea, I'll listen to it. If you've got an idea, I'll listen to it. And if it's good, I'll accept it and incorporate it in the plan if it's needed. This is what people in business do and leaders do. This is what you should do. If someone constantly has good ideas, you listen to them more frequently, more often, and you give them your ear. When someone comes to you with an idea that is terrible, seriously, are you going to listen to that person every time they talk? Every time they tell you something and it turns out to be stupid? The answer is fuck no. No, you don't. You don't listen to stupid people. You don't listen to stupid ideas. You don't give stupid ideas a try. Especially when shit hits the fan. Especially in a post-collapse environment. Because that stupidity is what has gotten us here today. It has to be about logic and reason and reality and facts. It has to be based on whatever your post-collapse environment culture is. It has to be based on reality. What works? You cannot create another fantasy land in a post-collapse environment because it will instantly cause you suffering. They tried it. I'm going to do a little bit of history back here. They tried it when they first came over to the United States of America, when it was just the Americas, when it was just the colonies. It wasn't even colonies yet. They tried communism. Everyone work. They put everything in a centralized community storage for food or whatever. And then as they need it, they would all get to eat. Well, guess what? There was no incentive to work hard. What happened? They ran out of food and fucking starved. They almost died. The next year, they got rid of that shit. They got rid of that fucking model. And they said, everyone, do whatever you want. You get to benefit by your hard work. Everyone busted their ass to take care of themselves first. And then whatever was excess, they could share or sell with others. The system, the real system, proved itself viable. The other system practically fucking killed them. And it would have killed them if they had kept it up. What has happened to our culture today? Logic and reason have been put in the back burner, and ridiculous notions, ideas about government, and ideas about the relationships between men and women were moved to the front. Ridiculous notions about equality and feminism, which was the destruction of men and the advancement, the rise of women in our culture, has destroyed us. Irresponsible spending by government, irresponsible spending by individuals has brought our nation to economic collapse. That is the number one threat we face, and everything that comes with it. Because when you're broke, you can't afford food. When you can't afford food, you can't eat. When you can't pay your bills, you lose everything. It is a modern miracle and masterpiece replay of what happened in those early colonists. It is the attempt again to try something that is illogical, is unfounded, and ultimately fails. So when shit hits the fan, are you going to listen to a bunch of stupid people, whether they're men or women? Because feminists are not just women. There are male feminists, men who have given up their right to be men, who have instead chosen a philosophy that is fucking bankrupt, morally and intellectually. And it is costing us our nation, and it will cost you your lives and shit hits the fan. It'll cost you your lives in a post-collapse environment. So AJ's thing is, what are you going to do about it? You don't let it happen again. When you hear stupid, it will have to be put down right there. Men will need to act like men. If you're a leader, you've got to be the leader. And I don't think that will be a problem once shit hits the fan, gets rolling, and in a post-collapse environment. Now, is it, you can't, you won't live. You won't be alive to go, whoops, that was a bad mistake, because you're just fucking dead. So leaders will rise, and they will make good decisions and say, we won't have that again. I don't believe it'll be a problem, even after a year or two in a post-collapse environment, when there's plenty of food. Let's say you live in an area where there's plenty of food. Do you think that something like feminism is going to rear its head again instantly? I think it will be put down, or it will cost people lives. People will be told, you straighten up or you get the fuck out of here in a post-collapse environment. But like many things, it is the strong-willed people that get hurt. And if they're the ones making decisions and influencing decisions, it'll affect the whole group, and it'll be seen for what it is. Now, when you live in a city with 1 million people, those that make decisions no one knows about, and they don't know where it came from. In a small post-collapse environment with a group of families or a small community, when someone makes a decision and it goes wrong, everybody will know who made that decision. Everybody will know who suggested it. And everybody will know where to place the blame on themselves for allowing that type of shit to happen. That type of shit meaning ridiculous mentality, bad philosophy, lack of reason, emotional consideration for something. Fuck emotional consideration when shit hits the fan. That cannot come into play because the bad guys don't give a shit about your emotional considerations. They don't give a shit. There won't be time to fuck around with that. It's a post-collapse environment. You're one step off of death. Civilization is wiped out. You need to get your shit together. If someone says, I've heard 3 bad ideas from you, they didn't pass the fucking muster test the first time, and I'm not going to listen to them anymore. Get the fuck out of my face. That's what's going to happen. And if it's a woman or a man proposing that type of thinking, it doesn't, to scream, imagine this in a post-collapse, apocalyptic environment. You're a sexist. Are you kidding me? You think anyone is going to have time to listen to that and go, ooh, geez, yeah, oh, the guilt is killing me. Oh, I feel riddled with shame. Oh my God, I'm going to do what you say instead. Fuck no! Right? There's no fucking way anyone is going to do that. In a post-collapse environment, strong, intelligent patriarchy is going to take over. Because that is what has caused humanity to live for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it will have to come back strong. Period. Logic, reason, philosophy, masculinity will have to come back. Now, if there's a woman out there that can be strong, logical, philosophical, and masculine, I don't see why she couldn't lead a group or contribute to leading that group. I have no problem with that. It's just I don't know very many of those types of women that are strong, logical, philosophical, and masculine. There's not as many. And it's because women are women and men are men. There's reasons for everything. There's roles for everyone. So AJ, in a post-collapse environment, if anyone allows bad philosophy, feminism being at the top, right, and the use of shame and guilt to control people, that is manipulation. If anyone allows that, they're dead meat. They are not only going to fail on a micro economic, micro social level, they will make themselves easy targets. Easy targets for other people to take advantage of them or kill them. That is my opinion. What do you guys think? Now, to prove that you've gone to the end of the video and you've watched the whole thing, use the word, let's come up with a nice word here. Starvation. Use the word starvation in your comments somehow, and I'll know you watched the whole video. Please, if you haven't, click subscribe. Hit the share button. Share this with your friends. Share this with family and loved ones. Get them into a realistic mindset. It's the real world out here, for real. Even though everyone's operating on Fantasyland rules, eventually the system has to collapse. It cannot continue like this. It is artificial. It's like a fish tank that hasn't had the water changed. Eventually, it gets so polluted full of all the garbage that everyone in the tank has to die. You know, all the fish in the tank have to die. The system cannot support itself. Right? It's unsustainable. So, yeah, subscribe. Like the video if you wish. Click on sponsors. That helps pay my bills. You know, hopefully YouTube is putting good sponsors on there. You know, don't be afraid to see what they're doing or what they're advertising and selling. Additionally, I just want everyone to wake the fuck up to reality now, so that when shit hits the fan, you're ready. You're ready. Chance favors the prepared mind. The prepared mind means logic, reason, philosophy, forethought, intelligent planning, an enhanced cognitive ability, reality, Semper Fi.